For an understanding of the magnitude of Tuesday evening's do-or-die Premier League survival battle between Swansea and Southampton, we need only heed the words of Saints' long-serving former defender Francis Benali. "This is the big one," says Benali, who made 389 appearances for Southampton. "I hate to consider the reality of relegation. I grew up in the city and saw relegation in 2005 and witnessed the impact on the local economy and businesses. It can be disastrous for the region." Tuesday night at the Liberty Stadium, Swansea hosts Southampton. The two sides are tied on 33 points with 2 games to play. Southampton have the better goal difference, but Swansea's final match is against relegated Stoke, while Mark Hughes' side host champions Manchester City. A defeat for the Saints in Wales, therefore, will likely all but end their aspirations of survival. A draw would offer hope of an extraordinary reprieve for West Bromwich Albion. Relegation has always had the feeling of impending calamity, but in view of the commercial benefits of Premier League survival, the economic realities are ever more stark. Rob Wilson, a football finance expert at Sheffield Hallam University, explains, "The club that retain their Premier League status will likely earn around £120 million next year. If you are relegated, you will earn only £40 million next season in parachute payments. If you fail to return inside 3 years, therefore, you are receiving £80 million as a championship club in parachute payments compared to £360 million as a Premier League side. It would constitute £280 million in missed revenue. The figures are eye-watering, and there is no guarantee that a side relegated from the top flight will rapidly return. Among the last 30 clubs to be relegated from the Premier League in the past 10 years, only 9 have returned from the Championship at the first attempt, while not 1 have returned at the second attempt. Both Swansea and Southampton are owned by overseas investors, the Swans by Americans and the Saints by Chinese, and those speculators presumed they were buying established top-flight clubs. This is Swansea's 7th consecutive season in the Premier League, while Southampton are on their 6th top-flight campaign. Only last season, Southampton reached a League Cup final and defeated Inter Milan in the Europa League. Swansea won the League Cup in 2013 and also competed in European competition. Just as at Stoke and West Brom, complacency can creep into clubs we presumed had become part of the furniture in the top flight. At Swansea, poor recruitment and underwhelming managerial appointments have undermined their efforts. The Bob Bradley experience still sends shudders down the spine of many in South Wales, and the transfer dealings last summer were pitiful. Swansea sold Gylfi Sigurdsson for £45 million and signed Renato Sanches, a player once signed by Bayern Munich for £35 million, on loan. Sanchez's last 2 starts, against Wolves and Notts County in the FA Cup, both ended with him limping off, and his attitude has exasperated those behind the scenes. When Swansea pushed for an equaliser at Bournemouth on Saturday, he was left on the bench. Other signings have not worked out. Fernando Llorente left for Tottenham, and Tammy Abraham, a loan signing from Chelsea, has scored only 1 league goal since October, while Wilfried Boney, who had not completed 90 minutes for over a year before returning to Swansea, is unsurprisingly now out injured. At Southampton, the failure to decisively remove Mauricio Pellegrino damaged their survival hopes, while there is a view that too many star names have been sold, with Virgil van Dijk the latest to exit for Liverpool in January. Benali counters that idea. "People say, there is only so long you can sell your best players before it comes back to bite you. They are damned if they do and damned if they don't." Look how it worked out when they held firm with Van Dijk. Players will want to move on when interest comes in from other clubs and they can treble or quadruple their wages. Regardless, with our talent, we shouldn't be in the bottom 3. We should be mid-table and doing well in the Cups. For Swansea manager Carlos Carvalhal, an upturn in form following his arrival has been undermined by a recent slump of 7 league games without a victory and only 2 goals in that time. Carvalhal is not one to panic. As a child in Portugal, he grew up with very little at all. One Christmas, his grandparents were struggling to the extent they gave him only an orange as a Christmas present. You can follow Francis Benali on Twitter at Franny Benali. His mother left school at the age of 9 to work full-time sewing clothes. So here is a man able to present perspective. He says, "All the time it is serious. If I must scream, I scream. But we must keep emotional control. It is not a time to scream. It is a time to be focused. Yet deep down, Carvalhal must know how important this match is for the region." A University of Wales study in 2013 found that Premier League football generates an extra £7.9 million for the region by visitors using hotels, pubs, restaurants and transport. Carvalhal added, "I think about winning games. If you are asking if it is the most important game of my career, it is an important game. I believe we can do it."